We're going to set the stage for our closing speaker here. Macy, get ready. We've been learning about and talking about a groundwater resource that is not going away tomorrow, but it is declining over what we might call generational timescales. So it's not just appropriate, it's essential. And many of you have highlighted this point, that we invite our younger generations to step up and take on some of the responsibility for the kind of active, forward-leaning, adaptive management of the aquifer that Dr. Tracy urged upon us yesterday in his keynote. The younger generation is ready and willing to step up. We're seeing evidence all around us, and it is my pleasure at this moment to introduce our closing speaker, Macy Downs. I've just recently learned a bit about Macy. She's a high school senior. She's a third-year Texas 4-H water ambassador. So Dana, this is one of your rock stars. She is also a passionate advocate of water conservation from the great Yoakum County, Texas, home of Plains, Denver City, and one other little town. Yoakum County has about 8,000 or 9,000 people. Macy is a rock star down there, and you're going to love her. So Macy, I think it's time for me to turn the floor over to you. Welcome, and we're looking forward to hearing from you.
All right, well, thank you. You might have talked me up just a little bit too much. What I do in Yoakum County is I like to educate a lot of younger kids, which is kind of ironic because I'm a child myself, but I love working with young and elementary age children with the Southern Ogallala Conservation and Outreach Program and Michelle Cooper over there. But I got started in 4-H Water Ambassadors, and I'm one of those kids who's not necessarily fulfilled in school. I have to do a million extracurriculars to really feel challenged and happy. So when I became a 4-H Water Ambassador, everything started to fall together. And I told one of my breakout groups that I knew I was going to be an educator because my mom was a middle school teacher, and that was just what I had to do because I didn't have another option. And when I became a 4-H Water Ambassador, I saw a world of opportunities that I had no clue even existed. So absolutely, I would not be talking to you all right now if it weren't for the 4-H Water Ambassadors and David Smith, who has been absolutely amazing and has encouraged and challenged me to be much better at what I have been doing. So I've been tasked with talking about the future of water conservation. And I think sometimes when we think about the future of water conservation, we all kind of collectively internally sigh. This is a scary thing. We voted yesterday that this task is so daunting, and the volume of this task is one of our biggest concerns. And obviously we wouldn't be here if we weren't concerned for the future. So I think also there's a common fear that Gen Z is kind of not up to the challenge. And sometimes I think this is because we're very different. We grew up in a completely different world than the baby boomers and everyone in between has grown up in. But I want us to remember that our differences are not disadvantages. I'd argue that diversity is our greatest asset because the Ogallala is so diverse. And we have similarities. We do have similarities, I promise. We're strong, we're capable, and we're passionate and ambitious. So I promise you to the industry leaders and professionals that we are out here and we are dreaming of doing your job. We want to carry that torch. We know it's heavy and we want to carry it, but we just can't do it without your help. So if you invest in us by supporting programs and maybe even starting your own programs for youth leadership, you can support your water districts or your area's version of a water district. And you can help us have our voices heard. So oftentimes, and I spoke with some of my peers before taking on this challenge to speak today, and some of them told me as well that they wonder if anyone even wants to hear them. So obviously there's not a full table. We need more people to come to the table to talk about these issues and to ask these important, tough questions to conserve water. But we can't think about how many chairs are empty. The more we worry about how many chairs are empty, the less we invite people to fill those chairs. So the future of water leadership is ready and willing to become the present water leadership. But if the Ogallala, its quality and quantity, is to have a chance at surviving, you have to be our chance. You have to be our chance to step into those roles. And when you invest in us, you invest in the future of agriculture as a whole, you invest in your grandchildren's crops, and you invest in the Ogallala itself. Thank you.